Yeah, this that entrepreneurial conversation where ideas flip the hustle into elevation. No filters, no cap, just lessons in motion. Pull up, lock in, this entrepreneurial conversation. Yeah.
And grand rising to all my investors and stuff out there, man. Thank y'all for coming in and tuning in to another episode of Entrepreneur Conversation that we're going to be having today. Today is going to be a great topic at hand that we're going to be talking about. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about the illusion of success, because it's very important to understand, because we got a lot of people selling you a perception of what an entrepreneur is, but it also turns into deception, because that's not really what an entrepreneur is, right? So before we jump into the topic today, you know what to do, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the Entrepreneur Conversation. Also subscribe to Invest Media, because I'm going to be moving these shows over to Invest Media. Everything's going to be on Invest Media. So definitely go and subscribe to that so you can be notified when a new episode drop. And also, man, invest in hitting the like button. Don't cost you nothing. It's a free investment. Hit on the like button. Also hit on the notification bell so you can be notified when a new episode drop. Definitely important. So, and also make your way over to investbrand.com. That's investbrand.com. And get up on our emailing list, and you will definitely get a discount once you sign up and what have you. And you can use that discount on your entire order. So once the official site is up and we back up and running again and what have you, you can use that discount that you will receive on your entire order. So it's very important to know that. And you also can be notified when the official site is launched, and you would know early before the people that's not on our emailing list and what have you. Also get notification when new products drop and what have you, what's going on. It's like you part of our journey and what have you. So that's very important to do that, guys. But other than that, man, I don't want to hold y'all too long. So we're going to jump right into this topic for today. Like I said, today's topic, we're going to be talking about the illusion of success. That's illusion of success, because a lot of times you have people that we see now, especially, let's go back to the pandemic. Pandemic was a rise of a lot of entrepreneurs, people becoming entrepreneur, whether if that was a part-time or full-time entrepreneur. So now it's 2026. You still have people that's entering into the field of entrepreneurship, right? But we have quite a few people that we may see on social media that's cosplaying as entrepreneur, right? So they basically selling you the illusion of success, right? It's all a perception that they invested in, which become a deception, because they deceiving you, right? Because this is not something they really are, right? They trying to use this to sell you a lifestyle, and hopefully it turn you into a customer and you buying their courses, right? And definitely giving them likes, views, and what have you, so they can continue to generate revenue. So you got to understand, man, it's people out here that will dress up, put on a costume as an entrepreneur, and you got to understand that if they're not telling you, they only telling you the potential success side of entrepreneur, what you can get when becoming a successful entrepreneur, versus telling you the bad side, the grind, the hustle, not gonna say the bad side, but the things you have to do order for you to become successful as an entrepreneur. They ain't telling you the days that they feel like quitting, days they want to feel like giving up and what have you, the sacrifices that they had to do to order for them to continue to put in work so they can become successful, right? So it's all one big illusion that they have invested in, this perception of an entrepreneur, which becomes a deception, because they deceiving you of what an entrepreneur really is and what have you. So it's like the theater of entrepreneurship, right? Because they understand the algorithm, right? When it comes to the algorithm is going to show you, going to basically favor the flashy content, which incentivizes people performance of wealth, rather than something that they built and what have you. So it's all illusion, right? So they getting clicks, they getting views, right? They getting followers, right? And then eventually what they do, they're going to create a course because now they got followers. Now they got people following. They're going to now on YouTube where you can create a subscription. Now you can subscribe, not only just subscribe, but you can buy the subscription to where they might have different levels, right? You get different perks and what have you. So this is where they make and generate majority of their money. That is not because they are successful entrepreneurs, because they don't have any business. This is they bit online doing creating you clickbait content is drawing them in, and this is just one big theater of entrepreneurship, and they are creating a movie for you, and hopefully you will buy into whatever they trying to sell to you and what have you, right? So the thing that you may see sometimes is people using borrowed credibility, right? So they may end up name dropping, they might be claiming associates, right? Using vague language like I've worked with seven figure brands before and what have you. See, when you have fake entrepreneurs, now online we call them fake gurus with stacked credentials, right? This is a big red flag, right? Because if they drop in names, they might say, well, I work with such and such, multiple times and this and that, right? Claiming associations, not associates, but claiming associations, right? You got to be careful with that, because I know you have heard or seen videos with several people that may pop up on your timeline like, yeah, I work with seven brand figures, this brand, that brand, seven figure brands, this brand, that brand, this brand, and what have you. See, because a lot of times they do that, they know that you're not going to be invested in doing your research, making sure what they are saying is true, making sure you verify, do the due diligence and verify each and everything that they say. They know people are really not going to spend that time, because they know if you don't like putting in the time to do research on learning what you're trying to do as an entrepreneur, or learning how to be an entrepreneur, or things that is going to help you grow and be successful as an entrepreneur, they know you're not going to take the time to do your due diligence to making sure to verify this information or what they are claiming and what have you. So it's like borrowed credibility, right? So the credibility really is theirs, is borrowed, right? Then also you may see they might highlight a reel of a business model, right? So basically, you have a lot of content creators. You have content creators that cosplay as entrepreneurs, right? So the thing about that is, they their business model is success. Like I said before, they never going to show you they never going to tell you the grind that they had to go through, the hustle, the sacrifices that they made, right? Everything that when they talk about entrepreneurship is about them being successful, right? Successful at this, successful at doing that. They're not going to tell you the grind of being an entrepreneur, right? So the highlight reel of their business model that they are selling you is success. That's it. Nothing else. And the thing about it is they make you believe like you're not going to have any setbacks as an entrepreneur. You're not going to have any ups. You're not going to have any downs. Not going to say us, but you're not going to have any downs. You're just going to have success. That's it. When I jumped into being an entrepreneur, I was successful right off the back, right out the gate. I came out successful as an entrepreneur. See, they never going to tell you the grind that you have to put in as an entrepreneur, right? So these are nothing but content creators. They don't document anything as an entrepreneur that they can tell you from ground zero to now what they done, the work they put in and what have you, because it's all content. They're not really entrepreneur and what have you, right? So you definitely have to understand that, because like I said before, they are selling you a lifestyle, right? They sell you a lifestyle far as they show they might go rent a Lamborghini. They might go rent them a nice little Airbnb, right? If it's a mansion, if they can rent one, and they curate morning routine to make you believe like, hey, this is what I do, right? Like I said before, it's like a costume that they build in, the costume that they put on of deception, right? Because they trying to sell you an illusion, and hopefully you can buy into it, right? So here goes the role as the audience, right? The role as the audience, often, you ignore the red flags, because the thing about it is you invested so much time in this person, and you don't want, in your mind, you see the red flags, but you don't see the red flags because you're so invested, and you knew as an entrepreneur, and you really don't understand how entrepreneurship work. You have an idea, you have an idea, you just want to know how can you bring it into fruition. What can you do to build it up to that point you can be successful, you can become successful as an entrepreneur off this idea, right? So it's really the role of the audience is to ignore the red flags, right? So through the concepts of like social proof, authority, bias, and hollow effect, this all plays a role in deception when it comes to online, fake online entrepreneurs, really content creators, right? So you got to understand it's your job to do the due diligence to making sure you verifying this information that they giving to you, right? So it's basically like the real versus perform confidence, right? So the actual successful entrepreneurs, they often going to talk about the failures, the nuances of, the ups, the downs, the things that they had to, the things that they had to do, and also the uncertainty. Like I said, some days you may wake up and you question yourself: do I really want to continue at trying to be an entrepreneur and what have you? Do I really want to do this? Do I just want to throw this idea away and find another one? It's the uncertainty, right? So, but the fake entrepreneurs, which are content creators, they're going to tell you I made 100,000 in 30 days, right? So you got to understand it's definitely a big difference, right? When you hear somebody tell you, and I'm pretty sure you might heard that you might seen a random video pop up on your timeline if you on YouTube and what have you, and you have a video, promotion video, like, well, such and such, I do this as an entrepreneur. I one day I just thought about it. Let me be an entrepreneur. I got this idea, and next thing you know, I put my idea out there, and I was $100,000 richer in 30 days, what have you, right? So you got to understand that's definitely a red flag, because at the end of the day, right? Say for instance, if you following somebody and they say they made 100,000 in 30 days, that's your job to question that. Like, okay, you made 100,000 in 30 days. What did you do to make 100,000 in 30 days? What steps did you take? What goals that you implemented to make sure you stayed on track? What blueprint you put together to reach that 100K? What direction you give your that you gave your idea so you can be able to make that 100K in 30 days? You want to be able to ask the right question. Then you'll find out, like, oh, okay, they selling me an illusion. This is not really what they actually did, right? See, this 100K, what it's going to do. See, if you got somebody who's a fake entrepreneur, what they're going to do, they're going to tell you they made 100K in 30 days. You want to know how? Get my course. So what you going to do? You're going to be so intrigued by the 100K, you're going to ignore the red flags. And guess what you're going to do? Like most people do, go and buy the course. Then when you find out that the course is full of fluff, it's not really anything, just basic information that you could have Googled, basic information you could have went and got yourself and what have you, right? So it really isn't anything that's going to help you out as an entrepreneur whatsoever. So you got to understand, like I said before, it's your job to do your due diligence, to make sure you verifying the information that they are giving to you, the things that they are telling you. Because like I said before, a lot of people are not going to tell you the bad side of things that may occur as an entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, this is what really they trying to do, right? They trying to set it up to reel you in, build the story up that they created, this narrative that they created, and they want you to buy into to the narrative that they created. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen? that's going to eventually turn you into a customer that's going to be buying one of their courses. Like a lot of times you see a lot of people, well, if you want this information, you have to go buy one of my subscription on StreamYard. One of these other platforms that you can have subscriptions. Go ahead and join that. And what's that other one? Not StreamYard. What's the other one? I forgot the other one that people have. I forgot the one. I forgot the one. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So a lot of people have those. A lot of people are in within that platform or what have you. I'm trying to think. I hate when I forget something. I have a point I'm trying to make, and I forget actually what I want to say. Um, um, I forgot what it is. Patreon. My bad, guys. That's what it is. Patreon. My bad. I just had a brain freeze. Patreon, right? You have people, what they tell you, like, hey, if you want more information or you ask them great questions, they're going to tell you, well, if you want to find out about how I made 100K in 30 days, you got to go and get one of my subscriptions on Patreon. You got to go and join my Patreon, whatever they tell you, right? It's always going to lead back to you have to pay something in order for you to get an information, that information that you are asking for and what have you, right? So you got to understand it. So you may be asking yourself, okay, how can I spot the difference? How can I spot the difference when I do run across somebody that may be cosplaying as an entrepreneur and what have you, right? So the thing about it is, whatever they're telling you, the information, or they're telling you about yourself, you want to make sure you want to look for verifiable proof. That's the main thing. You want to verify everything that they are telling you to make sure who they telling you, right? Then secondly, you want to check if their income comes from the thing that they teaching, because the thing about that is a lot of times people money is coming from the courses that people are buying. It's not from the thing that they are doing, and that's being an entrepreneur, that's running a business and what have you. So you want to make sure if they are getting majority of income from the thing that they teaching or from the thing that they are doing, in which that's being an entrepreneur running a business. So if they making majority of their money on online courses that they created and people are buying into it, money from their Patreon and stuff like that, things that's outside of them supposedly supposed to be successful entrepreneur and have a business that they run in and what have you, if it's not coming from their business, what have you, that's definitely a red flag, right? That's definitely a red flag. So you definitely want to understand that. And another thing, if you notice, if they deflecting from specific questions, watch for the pay to play mentorship traps. Like I said, pay to play, like Patreon, stuff like that. Go into my Patreon. You will get all the information that you want, right? You will get all the information that you need. Go to my Patreon. It's always a pay to play type of situation. In order for you to get some type of information or answer to your question, you have to go to their Patreon, or you got to get one of their subscription to whatever site they own. They got their subscription set up at. You got to go there in order for you to be able to get it, right? So before I get out of here, you got to understand, man, as an entrepreneur, if you're looking to get into entrepreneurship, right, you have to build your own definition of success through your experience that you're going to go through as an entrepreneur, the grind that you put in, the hustle that you put in, right? The sacrifices that you make, the things that you do as an entrepreneur, because understand, we all on our own path, our own journey of entrepreneurship. We all take our own way. We all go at our own speed. But at the end of the day, we all end up in the same place. And that's a place called success as an entrepreneur, right? So you got to understand, when you looking at people on social media cosplaying as a entrepreneur, you can't believe their definition of success, because they just going to tell you, this is what they're going to give you, their definition of success of what an entrepreneur look like, right? So you got to create your own definition, right? Because you got one thing you must understand: authenticity. Might as well say authentic entrepreneurship is slower, messier, and far less photogenic, right? So you want to make sure that you are doing your own thing and not allowing people that's not really an entrepreneur tell you what you supposed to do. This is what an entrepreneur is. This is you're just gonna have success. If you're not making 100K in 30 days, that you failed as an entrepreneur and what have you, because that's far from the truth, guys. But other than that, guys, man, thank y'all for tuning in to another show of the Entrepreneurial Conversation. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Invest Media. Go over to Invest Media YouTube channel and subscribe to that. And also make sure you invest in hitting that like button, hitting the notification bell so that you be notified when a new episode drop. Very, very important, guys. And also make your way over investbrand.com, investbrand.com. Make your way over there, man. Get on our email list. You get you a discount. Once the site drop, you can use it on that discount, same discount on your entire order. Thank you guys for tapping in. Yep.